now I'm this kind of person who tells my money where to go. So this is what I do. Like, hello guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video, welcome back to episode 2 of the money talk series. Like, if you didn't watch the first video, girl, what you're waiting for? In the first video, I am showing you how I plan using Notion, which is really simple. And if you want to be more productive and more organized, you need to check out that video. I'm going to link it up here. And yeah, let's get into the episode 2. So today on the channel, we are going to talk about how to do a monthly budget, which is really beginner friendly. It doesn't matter the amount of money that you make. It doesn't matter if you have like a low income or a 6-figure type of income. In this video, I'm going to show you how I do my financial budget, and it's really simple. I'm just sharing tips here and there. So if you are interested in knowing how to do a budget, keep on watching this video and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out the next episode of this money talk series. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. So as you saw from the intro, today we're going to talk about budget, which is not so familiar to me because I'm this kind of person who is really bad with money. No, I'm not. I used to be. So first of all, before we get into the budgeting, how I do my budget every month, I'm gonna give you like a small background of who I am and my experience with money. So I am a content creator as a side hustle, and I have a full-time job that give me a paycheck. Okay, so in the past I used to be this kind of person that survived paycheck per paycheck because I used to be very bad with money. I used to be this kind of person that spent a lot of money even on things that I didn't really like. I used to be this kind of person who can go for a whole year without a budget. Like, I survived paycheck per paycheck. Like in 2020, I used to have a high-paying job and I used to make a lot of money, so I didn't really care about where my money was going because I had money. But when I started working to my previous job, I wasn't making a lot of money like I used to, so my paycheck was really low, and that's when I started struggling a lot with money. So at the start of this year, I was like, I need to be intentional with how I spend money because I ended last year, being honest with you, I ended last year with zero money in my saving account, and I was like, I'm getting old, I'm turning 27 and I have zero money in my saving account. Like, what am I doing with my life? And I remember having this conversation with a friend that had like a similar paycheck to mine, and she was telling me how she was saving, how she was investing, and I was like, why can't I do the same thing that she's doing? So that is how I become so aware of my bad relationship with money, and that's how I started doing the budget. So that's a little background of my experience with money. So before I tell you or show you how I budget, I'm gonna give you like 3 tips that you need to know before you start budgeting. And those 3 tips that I'm gonna give you are the tips that I also personally use to get where I am right now. But before, a water break. The first tip, if you want to do a very successful financial budget, is that you have to track your expenses. So this is the first thing that I did when I started my financial journey. I started with January. I started tracking every cent. I started tracking where my money went, and I realized that most of the time I spend money on things that I don't really need. I'm this kind of person, if I pass by the Simba supermarket, I must go in there and I always get out of the supermarket with something. I always buy something, even something that I don't really need. So if you want to do a budget, if you want to be financially wise with your money, you need to track your cent. You need to track your money. Do it for at least 3 months, and then you will know where your money goes. So that's what I did from January till March, and I realized that I'm very unhealthy with money, and that's where I started like cutting off some few stuff. That's where I started buying things that are on my budget. the second tip that you have to know before you start budgeting is that you have to do a budget that is suitable, or that suits your lifestyle. Because let me tell you, we all have different needs, we all have different sources of income. So whenever you are budgeting for yourself, make sure that you are not starving yourself, or you are not depriving yourself from things that you need. So make sure that you do a budget that is suitable for your needs, your wants, and your financial goal. So the last tip that I want to share with you is that before you do a budget, you need to have a plan, like a goal. Like, what are you budgeting? Even if you are saving, why are you saving that money? So you need to have a plan, and I feel like this plan is gonna help you be more intentional with your money and be more oriented on what you really want to do. So those are my 3 tips. If you are starting a financial journey, you have to first track your money, and then do a budget that accommodates all your need, and then have a plan. So after that, another tip that I want to add, which I'm going to talk about more in my next video, is that you need to pay yourself. So most of the time when people think about budget, they think about, I'm just going to cut myself, I'm just gonna limit myself to some few things so that I can save. In order for you to have a healthy relationship with money, you have to have this mindset that you are doing it for yourself, you are doing it for the best, and you have to feel like at the end of the day, everything you are doing with your money is gonna benefit you. Okay, so now let's get into the budgeting. So when I am budgeting, when I'm doing my financial budget, I use this method. I don't know like the actual name, but I call it the 50-30-20 budgeting method, which I learned through a friend on Instagram. If you're watching this video, thank you very much for sharing those tips, because they made me who I am right now. I'm so grateful. I'm not gonna say that I discovered this method. No, I read it somewhere, I applied it, and for the past 6 months, for the past 5 months, it has been working for me. So the method that I use is the 50-30-20 method that I'm gonna break down for you. So let's suppose you receive a paycheck of a given amount that I'm gonna put on the screen here. Let's say, for example, you make 100K per month. I know it's small money, but it's money. Okay, so this is how you are going to budget for it. So the first, when you're budgeting, as I said, for the first 50% of your salary, it is going to cover your basic everyday needs. Okay, and then the 30% of your salary is going to go to your wants, like those things that you want but are not really needed. Okay, and the 20% is going to go to your savings. So that's how I do my budget. So first of all, let's start with the 50%, which is 50% de ton salaire or de ton source of income. Okay, I can also speak French. So you're gonna take your paycheck, or you're gonna take your income and divide it by 50%. So the amount that you're gonna get for the 50% is the amount that you're gonna use for your need. Every need. It can be your house rent, it can be your phone bill, water bill. It can be anything that you really need and you cannot live without. So the 50% is gonna cover everything you're gonna need throughout the whole month. And then the 30% is gonna cover those things that you want. It can be a birthday party you're attending, a wedding you are attending, a given contribution you have to give, for example, at your workspace, something you want to get for yourself. It can be a trip, a small vacation, it can be anything. And then the 20% are going to the saving, as I said, and we're going to talk about saving in a different video. So let me show you how I do the 50 and 30% of my budget. So I have my laptop here. So I have an amazing tool that I'm gonna share with you at the end of this series of this videos that I'm doing now, the Money Talk series. And let me tell you, I encourage you so much to keep on watching, to be on this channel, because I know that the moment that I'm gonna drop this tool that I use, you are gonna love it, and it's gonna make your budgeting process really simple and quick. But here is how I do it. So whenever I receive before I receive my paycheck, I do my budget before I even get paid. For this helps me to know, like, when my money come, I'm gonna know where my money is going. So I'm no longer this kind of person that doesn't know where my money is, where my money go. Now I'm this kind of person who tells my money where to go. So this is what I do, like 5 days prior getting paid. So I do my monthly budget, and the first section is my expenses or my mandatory needs. So I write down everything that I'm gonna need in that month, the upcoming month. It can be something that I need to buy, which is really crucial, which is really mandatory. It can be that a contribution that I give to my workplace. It can be a trip that I'm planning. Everything that I feel like I need to cover, I write it down. And this is what I noticed when I first started doing this monthly budget, like back in January and March. I discovered that my needs were above my budget, not because I had so much needs, but because I felt I spent so much money on needs and wants at the same time. So now I make sure that when I'm doing my budget, I write down, when I'm doing my mandatory needs section or my expense section, I make sure that I write down every little thing that is really important. Like, for example, in February, I had like when you are doing your monthly needs or mandatory needs, I have, for example, I had my transport for work. I wrote down like an approximation, like per month, this is the kind of money that I use for my transport. I wrote down perfume, I needed black soap, I needed pairs of socks, I needed shoes, I needed a new planner and all that stuff. So I make sure that I write down everything that I cannot live without. And then after writing down, I make sure that the 15% of my salary is gonna cover all my needs. If there's something that goes beyond my need, make sure that I postpone it, or I see if I can adjust. So the goal here is to make sure that you can adjust your budget. It doesn't have to be tight, it doesn't have to hurt you during the process. You make sure that you adjust. So when I'm making the first section, which is the mandatory needs section, I make sure that I write down the activities, the amount of money that I'm gonna need, the due date, like when do I need to cover those stuff, and then I write down where do I need to spend the money. Like if I'm planning to buy body lotion, let's say the body lotion that I buy is for 3K. I know I can find it at Simba for 3K, but I also know that I can find it at Tedemil for 2K. So I make sure that when I'm doing my budget, I look at all the possibilities of where I can get something at an affordable price, so that I can decrease my expenses. Do you get it? I hope you get it. So I have a table right here where I put down everything that I need to cover. Even if when I also have debts, I make sure that I put them down here. So next to my monthly expenses, I have another table of my weekly expenses. As I told you, till now I still track how much I spent during the week, and I realized that I spend so much money on airtime, because I'm this kind of person. I'm gonna buy airtime to yell at you. Yes, that's me. So knowing that I spend so much money on airtime, I try to find a calling package, a calling pack, like kwa kundi bagura amayinite ya Prestige. I found a Prestige calling MTN pack that allows me to pay 5K, and then I can talk so many times for a whole month. I'm gonna put what I'm trying to say here for you to get what I'm trying to say. So when I'm doing my budget, that's how I cover my needs. I make sure that 50% of my salary is gonna cover my basic needs. So the next part is to budget for my wants. I normally don't have a lot of wants because I'm this kind of person who doesn't go out so many times. I don't go to so many weddings. So during the year I can go to like 3 weddings or 2. I don't have so many friends. So when it comes to my wants, I can put on those weddings, people that I want to visit, if I want to send a gift to my niece, if I want to buy something nice for myself, if I want to buy a new kimono or something, I just put down those wants in my wants category, and the 30% of my salary is gonna cover that. Sometimes I may end the month without using all the 30%, so I save it for the next month or I put it on my saving account. So that's how I cover my want section. So all this budgeting strategy helped me to know like how much I used to spend money on things that I didn't really want or really needed, and I realized that it doesn't matter the amount of money you make per month, you can still save, you can still make the most out of it. So if you are in a position where you feel like your paycheck is not accommodating all your needs, maybe you need to start checking where your money goes. So when it comes to saving, I put the 20% of my money in my saving account, and that's the part I'm gonna tackle in another video because I feel like there's so many tips that I want to share with you when it comes to saving. So that's how I do my budget. Please feel free to let me know in the comment section how you do your budget. If there's any method that you personally use, let me know in the comment section and I'll be happy to try it. But so far, that's the method that I've been using and it's been effective. And to be honest, when I started using it, it was really hard. For like the 3 first months I used to for the 3 first months, like I remember when I did my first budget, I realized that the 50% of my salary was not gonna cover everything that I thought I needed that time. But the more I practiced this whole doing a budget, the more I learned what is a need and what is a want. So it's been a very nice journey, and to be honest with you, my experience is that now my salary covers everything, and I make sure that the money that I use for my need category covers everything till the last day of the month, which can be hard sometimes, like when you have emergencies or things you didn't plan for. But as you keep learning how to do your budget, it keeps getting easier. So that's it. That's how I do my budget. I'm gonna drop a tool that's gonna help you do your budget. Like I did whole budget for you, and I'm gonna drop that tool in the last video of this series, of this Money Talk series. So make sure you stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, and if you loved this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section if there's anything money related that you want to learn from me. So that is all for a budget friendly trick. So if you love this video, give it a thumbs up as I said. So thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching. Was so happy doing this. I'm so happy sharing my knowledge with you guys, and see you in another video. Bye and take care of yourself.